Chapter 2, Mishnah 4. In the previous Mishnah, we learned that Beis Hillel hold that in the case of Shekalim, where one saves up coins and says, "Let these be for my shekel obligation," any excess coins are unconsecrated. While if he says the same for a chatas offering that he owes, the extra coins are consecrated and go to buy communal offerings. Our Mishnah explains the distinction between these cases. We now turn to the words of the Mishnah. Rabbi Shimon says, what is the difference, according to Beis Hillel, between Shekalim, where the extra coins he set aside are not consecrated, and the chatas offering, where the extra coins are consecrated? The difference is that the Shekalim have a limit. A person may not contribute more than a shekel. Therefore, he certainly did not have in mind to consecrate more than a shekel's worth of coins when he started saving. And so, the extra coins remain unconsecrated. Whereas a chatas offering has no limit. One may spend as much as he desires on the animal. Therefore, we say that he intended to consecrate all the money. And if there is any money left after he buys the animal, the extra goes for voluntary communal offerings. Rabbi Yehuda questions this explanation. Rabbi Yehuda says, but even the Shekalim obligation has no limit. For when Israel ascended to Eretz Yisrael from the Babylonian exile in the time of Ezra, they used Median coins called dargonos as their basic unit of currency. Thus, for their shekel contribution, they gave half the standard coin, half a darkon, which was equal to 1 selah. Later, after the collapse of the Persian Median Empire, they switched to using selaim as their unit of currency. Accordingly, they changed their shekel contribution to half of the new standard coin, and they therefore gave a half selah, or 1 shekel each. Still, later they switched to using coins called teva'in as their unit of currency, and the people wished to contribute dinars, i.e. half teva'in, for their shekel obligation. However, the rabbis refused to accept the dinar for the shekel obligation because it was worth less than the half shekel of the Torah. At any rate, we see that the shekel obligation too has no set limit. And indeed, in various periods of history, the Jews gave more than the Torah half shekel to fulfill their mitzvah. How then can Rabbi Shimon say that the shekel obligation has a set limit? Rabbi Shimon defends his explanation. Rabbi Shimon replied, even though it is true that the amount of the shekel obligation is not completely fixed, nevertheless, everyone's share is always equal, because no matter what the currency is, no one is allowed to give more than half of it. But regarding the chatas offering, it is not so, for this person brings an animal worth a selah, and this one brings an animal worth 2 selaim, and this one brings an animal worth 3 selaim. Since one may spend as much as he wants on his offering, we say that he intended to consecrate all the money he put aside, and the surplus must therefore go towards purchasing communal offerings.